Greetings, everyone. This is Jed Shlackman. I work as a holistic counselor, also a hypnotherapist and energy healer. And this video today will be a little bit different than many of my other videos. I'm going to be doing a little quick demonstration of creating ozone water. And while I'm making it, I'll give you some more background about what ozone water is, about how ozone is used therapeutically in a variety of contexts. To start off, I'm going to just share the disclaimer that this video is for educational purposes, so it's not intended as any specific medical advice for any health concerns that you may have. You're encouraged to do more of your own research and consult your own healthcare providers for further guidance on these topics. So now let's go into some basics about how you could create ozone water. First, I'm going to show you the materials I have here. First, we have an ozone generator device, and this is the Ivation brand. So basically, it's an electrical machine that generates ozone gas. Ozone is what's known as active oxygen. It's the O3 molecule. So it's oxygen that wants to react and give off some of those oxygen atoms. Now, this particular device comes with this warning message on the cover. It says, ozone generators should be operated in unoccupied spaces only. Inhalation of ozone can cause lung damage and other harmful conditions in people and animals, and I believe that government agencies put out that message and encourage these manufacturers to issue that caution or warning. However, there are actually many devices that release ozone gas as an air purifying method, and they do it in smaller quantities or concentrations so that there's no requirement to issue this type of warning. Now, different people handle it differently. Ozone is this purifying compound. It reacts with pollutants and with pathogens. It's kind of like a disinfectant, so it can be used to keep microbes away, to kill viruses and bacteria and things like that, to remove odors. It's also a good way to kill mold. So ozone has many powerful properties, and some people can handle having a significant amount of ozone in the air. Ozone is produced naturally in nature. When there's a thunderstorm, that electrical energy can generate extra ozone in the air. It's just a form of oxygen. So, in my opinion, the warnings are kind of overblown, but people who have a lot of congestion in their body, a lot of toxicity, when that ozone comes through and starts to react with it, it can create a lot of symptoms. It can create some inflammation, some reactions. You could call it a detox reaction, where you're creating this waste debris from those oxidation processes that's more than your body can handle at one time. So it's like this overload of detoxification happening all at once, which is the reason why a lot of people might not be able to handle too much of a concentration of ozone in the air. So you can consider that precaution. Personally, I don't mind having a significant amount of ozone in the air, so I'll be in the room when I'm using this device. But for those doing this on your own at home, you might want to be out of the room while the ozone gas is coming out of the device and allow it to dissipate before you're in the room. So with this device, there's a little spot on the side here where you can connect a hose. So rather than the ozone gas only going into the air, you can direct it through this hose into a container of liquid, in this case a glass of water. So I'll be connecting the hose to this. So here we're connecting this hose. And here I have a glass of water I've prepared. This is distilled water. You probably want to use some form of already filtered or purified water before you ozonate it. So normally you would attach a little diffuser ball to the end of this hose. I'm going to do it without that ball, so the ozone air will be creating a lot of vigorous bubbling in the water. And actually I'm going to put a little cover over the glass. So I'll put the hose through the cover. That way less of the air will escape per se, or come up into the room air. More of it will be trapped in that glass container. So now all I have to do is plug in this ozone generator. So I'm going to plug in the electrical cord now. And now that it's plugged in, I'm going to set a timer on it. So different ozone generating devices may have different controls or settings on them. For this one, it has increments of 5 minutes that you can set it for. So I'm just going to set this one for 10 minutes. So it's now set to start. And now you can see it's bubbling, the water's bubbling there. So this will be running while I'm speaking. And after 10 minutes, then this ozone generator will automatically turn off. So while that's preparing the ozone water, I'll speak a little bit more about ozone and what it could be used for, how it's applied in the healthcare field. So ozone exists as a gas, so it could be used as a gas. There are actually some dentists who use ozone gas in their practice, either before, during, or after dental procedures, using it as an antiseptic or antibiotic in a way to prevent infections. In dentistry, ozone as a gas or as a liquid in deozonated water or as ozonated oils can be used to prevent infections and also to promote accelerated healing after any dental procedure. There's also been research showing that ozone actually helps prevent cavities and helps treat helps reverse cavities. So it has a way of helping the body start to heal itself, perhaps because it is, in a sense, antiseptic. It prevents microbes, it prevents infections from developing, and when your body is not dealing with so many pathogens, then it has a greater capacity to repair the tissues, to heal, to regrow things, and so on. Another context in which ozone is used is bringing it actually directly into the blood. So it's used to help purify blood, and that can be done by drawing blood out of the body, running it through ozone, and then infusing that blood back into the body. So there are forms of IV ozone treatment that apply that method. It's often used for people with serious illnesses, where the idea is that if you can clear out toxins and pathogens from the blood, then the person is better able to recover from those illnesses or diseases that they're dealing with. So that's a medical use of ozone where it's applied intravenously. Certainly drinking ozone water is a less invasive way of using ozone, where you're just consuming it through your digestive tract and through your mouth. So you're not injecting it directly into the blood, but your body is absorbing it. It is going into your tissues, and through that process, some of it is going into your blood supply. Ozone is used actually as a method to purify and treat water. So ozonated water is one way that water is purified. Ozone is also used in some places to treat the water in swimming pools. In this country, in the United States, swimming pools are usually treated with chlorine, but chlorine has some potential adverse effects when we're exposed to it. So another method of purifying water for swimming in is actually treating it with ozone. Ozone is very powerful at oxidizing bacteria, viruses, parasites, funguses. So all of those microorganisms that could contaminate water are vulnerable to ozone. Ozone can help eradicate them. So there are places where you find pools that are kept clean by using ozone. I mentioned briefly the use of ozone with oil. So here I'm infusing ozone into water, but ozone can also be infused into oils. So there are companies that make ozone oils, and the base of it is often an oil like olive oil, hemp seed oil, avocado oil, coconut oil. So some of those different natural virgin plant oils, those can be infused with ozone, and so it kind of preserves the ozone, so it's encased in a sense in the oil. It's concentrated there. It's not escaping into the air, so that you can store it perhaps for a month or longer, especially if you refrigerate it. So the ozonated oils can be placed on your skin, on your body, and the oil carries the ozone into your tissues, so the ozone can have that purifying effect, and it can help stimulate the repair or regeneration of tissues, since the ozone is protecting those tissues from infections, and it's giving actually that extra oxygen to your body, and your body uses oxygen to nourish its tissues. So with that good oxygen supply, your body is better able to heal, to regenerate itself. So for those that are looking for different ideas for supporting healing, whether it's recovering from injuries, recovering from surgeries, recovering from infections, diseases, ozone and other forms of active oxygen are some things you can research. There are many clinics and facilities in America, and even more so perhaps in some other countries in Europe or Asia. So you can get those more precise medical forms of treatment, but there are also a few do-it-yourself types of methods, such as what I'm demonstrating here, creating ozone water, just using some regular filtered or purified water and infusing it with ozone gas. You can also buy ozone oils, so those are another form of ozone that you can use for your own self-care. Ozone in the air does dissipate rather quickly. So if you have a room and you run an ozone air purifier for a while, after a certain period of time, as the airflow shifts the concentration, you'll notice the ozone smell will dissipate. One valuable thing about ozone and air purification is that it clears away the odors that may have previously been present in a room. So if there's some kind of smoke smell or perfume smell or other odors that you'd like to remove, using the ozone air purifier is actually a very effective way to clear out those odors. And the reason it's clearing the odors is it's actually neutralizing, it's reacting with and breaking down the different chemical compounds that were in the air, so that the air is actually being refreshed. It's actually a true form of air purification. It's not just using one smell to cover up another smell. It's actually bringing that air back into a more clear and neutral state. Just as purifying water with ozone helps remove the toxins or contaminants, it brings that water back into a more pure and neutral state. So with the tone I just heard, that's the signal that this ozone generator has turned off. So it's finished infusing the water here with ozone. So now I have ozone water that I can drink it, I could rinse my mouth with it, I could bathe a part of my body in it. So that water is ready to use. And we're going to turn off and take apart the ozone generator now. For those looking for this particular model, that's the name of the brand, Ivation. I'm not receiving any compensation or anything for mentioning that brand. This just happens to be a relatively inexpensive consumer ozone generator that you could find that has the tube attachment, so you could infuse it into water. So I'd like to thank each of you for taking your time to explore this topic. For those that are interested in holistic health and wellness, I invite you to visit my website, phinsights.com. That's PHINSIGHTS.com. And so now I'm going to have a quick sip of this water. Wishing you all a wonderful day. Namaste.